There we go. Make sure we get our recording going. And
And let me talk to you about something else here. That
sure.
these, and I may have already described this to you, I don't remember, but this is an unusual situation in the overall properties, 20 acres exactly. And through zoning, they got permission to do 4 lots. But the restrictive covenants on the property says that no lot can be under 4 acres.
Uh-huh.
Can be under 5 acres.
Right.
Uh, So the lots have to be exactly 5 acres. There's no room for, and then the zoning board imposed an additional condition on them that half of the lot has to be designated as open space.
Right.
Can't be built on, and that's what the hatched area is. But and I did some weird things, like I left a gap between the open space and the
Yeah.
access easement, and I've kind of reconsidered that. I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, probably should just go up and adjoin it.
And then I'll have to adjust the areas again, but that's okay, I can do that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they don't have to be exactly half. They just have to be at least half, right?
Uh, yeah,
But but even at that, we can make it so that it is adjusted.
well,
If we
the client's gonna be very picky, I can tell that already. He's not gonna want to put anything more in green space than he has to.
all right, so this right here is let's see that 108 900 basically. So 108. That's 2.5 acres. Yeah, so there's your half.
Where are you
Um,
seeing all of that?
I calculated that. I selected that outline and I read over here at its area in the
Okay,
properties,
okay.
and it's essentially 108 900. I mean, it's not out to like 6 decimal places or 7 is where it's slightly different. Hey, now my monitor, let me see here. Oh, look at that. It came back. My monitor came back into its own awareness. That's interesting. Oh well. All right. So there's that. Now, one thing that we can do though is if we decide to uh make this border of this line of this green space, if we wanted to conform to the easement, then we could take either this line that goes across here, or maybe this line here and just slide it. Um,
Well, I was gonna slide this one up here back this way.
that'll be fine too. Any one of those that we can
And
do to,
and the same thing here, I was gonna
yep,
hinge here and swing the area that way.
okay. That,
And these don't have the same issue, obviously.
right.
They come up to the property line.
Yep. Yep. So we can do that. Um, all right. So if you want to do that, then here's what we need to do with this part. Now we could, break this apart and eliminate, follow, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the things that we could do, because these are all grips, are gripped entities. See, we can move this corner up to this corner, which is uh, should be the intersection right there. So that corner is now there. And this corner we would put here. Now this one is also, what is this one? This one also needs to be,
What is that one?
it's probably the hatch.
Should I just eliminate the hatch for now until we have this fixed and that, because the hatch is gonna change?
Well, I mean that I'm making the hatch follow with it. It's not that hard to do. If
Okay,
you want, I mean, you could do it that way. That's certainly a way to do it. You could just erase the hatch and rehatch it. But now we're going to take this and we want to, uh, let me make sure I've got make sure I've got your snapping set for extension. There we go. I'm going to turn your extension hat, snap on. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to start to move this and I'll go back and hover to get that endpoint in there. Well, see, that's a horizontal, but I don't want the horizontal. I want the,
couldn't you do an extension there with, just the right click extend command?
well, no, it's a closed figure is the problem.
Okay,
See
so it
now,
won't work with the closed figure.
yeah, I don't think so. You're talking about like just extend by distance. And if you
Well,
pick,
just extend to the line, just, right click.
oh yeah, yeah. So even like if you do that, let me see if that's let's say T5. Yeah, see that didn't work. Yeah, there. But you're talking about like selecting this as a target and then
Yes,
saying extend. No, you could do that, except what you'd have to do is that this polyline, you would have to, because it's a line that, goes around the corner, you'd have to break it so that it's only this line itself. So I was just going to try to extend it like this, but I want to make sure I stay on that bearing. So that's what's called that extension snap,
yeah.
except it's not, doesn't seem to be working right. That's the extension endpoint. Yeah, see, that should work like that. So if I take that and if I take that grip, now I should be able to say if I sit on that grip, now you see how that lines up exactly
Yeah,
with the other one? Well, I
yeah.
want to do that except this way, except it's hitting it's picking out the horizontal and I don't want that. I want it to go, it's not.
Well, it doesn't have to be that line extended because we're gonna adjust the area anyway.
Well, I'm just going to get up to the edge of this access easement. I want to go up and touch it.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's what I want to stick out there. So since that's not snapping exactly right, let me do it this way. I'm going to take a line that goes from here to here. Now I'm just going to take that, and because that is a single one, I will extend that one, which is just that one right there. Okay. And so now I can even, just to keep track of it separately here, I'll just pull that off to the side. And it was originally lined up. Now that goes to there. I'll take the hatch boundary, put it over there. I've actually got three things here. Okay, so there's my hatch. All right, and so now we want to we're going to add a vertex right on that P T or PC for both of these. I don't know. See, there's two of these. You've got two.
Yeah, and I don't understand why.
All right, so there's the one. Let me see if they're just duplicated. All right, there's one. There's yeah, they're just duplicated. So I'm going to get rid of one of them. There we go. Now, if I add a vertex and snap to that corner, now all I have to do is turn this segment into an arc, right? So I'm going to hover over that grip and say convert to arc, and then I'm going to snap either nearest or midpoint, whatever, to that arc right there. So I'll snap to that. So now that's exactly on it there. Same thing here for the actual hatch pattern. I will convert to an arc, and I'm going to move it to the midpoint of that. And now that, and I don't need this any further, so I'll get rid of it. So now that and there's the hatch, and you can see the grips are right where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And here is the polyline. The grips are right where they're supposed to be. Now let's see how many polylines you've got here for this one too. You got one there, and one they've got a duplicate for that one. So we need the one. Oops, let's undo that. If I select that as open space, it's an open space. But if I get rid of that, why does it? There it is. Okay. Yeah, we got the same thing here. Oh, you got three of them down here.
So how did that happen?
I don't know. Actually, looks like you've got four of them. Get one, two, three, four, five of them. I couldn't tell you, my friend. Let's see. There's that one, that one, that one. Yeah. All right. So there's five of them there. How many do we have here? We've got four of them here. All right. So here's what to do in that case. There, I've only got the one, and there I've only got the one. So here's what to do in that case. I'm going to select, I'm just going to draw a window around all of those things there. Okay. And I'm going to go over to the file menu, and I'm going to choose drawing cleanup. And I'm going to clear, and I'm going to say, wonder why it doesn't clear that. Well, that's just disturbing. All right, so all I want to do is remove duplicate line work. So I'm going to come up here and choose that. And I'll say okay. And it says removed 10 duplicate line work entities. So now it's just the one and the hatch.
And where was that command again removed?
It's under file, drawing cleanup.
Drawing cleanup.
This one right up here. Now, that's where it is on that particular thing, which does all kinds of other commands. But there is also under edit. Let's see. It would be under remove duplicate polylines here. Okay, so either one of those would do that same command.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to need to do this same thing here. So I'm going to need to, I'd still want to understand why. There, now you see that line
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do. And all I wanted to do was get just past it enough so that now I've got an intersection that I can snap back to right there. And I'll pull this dude up to there. Let's see, right to there. All right. And now this one, I want to go to the intersection. Up there. Put this one at that same endpoint. And now this, I've got those 2 points. I want to bring this down to that. And I need to add a vertex right there. And then I need to convert to arc. And I need to snap. I'll just go to the midpoint. Doesn't have to be the midpoint. It could be a near point along that arc that would mathematically be the same. But that now has done that. Now, what we have though is
Let me ask you a question. Is coming back there, it looks like one of those hatch marks isn't going to the line. Like that one right there.
oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you're exactly right. We didn't finish doing the hatch part. We did the other part. So we need to move that one to there. And then we need to add a vertex and put it on that PT and then convert to arc. And we'll go to the midpoint there. Yeah, I'm glad you caught that. That was a good eye. All right, so that's done. Now, what happened to our FL words over there?
Don't know.
Did that happen to be?
I'll bet it was on one of those lines that were deleted, maybe.
But what, it wouldn't make sense for to have words on those lines. I mean,
True.
are these points?
Yeah.
FL. Okay, so it's still there. It's just I had to do a regen. Okay. And I think I'm gonna just bring that off the line a little bit. Okay, so now we have this, which is if you look at that area, excuse me, which is 110,278 point 39,229. 2.532 acres, and we want it to be 2.5. See, right now it qualifies because it's over half, but we want it to be exactly 2.5 acres, right?
Right.
So now you can adjust either, that little short line or this long, any of those lines that you want to move. You can either swing them or slide them.
Okay.
So I'll let you go ahead and do that command, and I think you've got that understood. I'll
Yeah,
watch.
I can do that.
All right. Uh, you wanna go ahead and
Oh, you want me to do it now?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it shouldn't take too long. I just want to make sure you got it, that we got
Yeah.
it correct and we didn't introduce any problems is all.
Oh,
Let's see, points.
unable to find target area.
I think you might have missed clicking on something. Try it again there. Let's try. That's what I want to make sure you got this correct. And so you do by line work and you will select the segment to adjust. So click that line somewhere in the middle of it. Right in there is fine. And now it says keep the existing. No, we don't need to. Now define the new line by excuse me, a selected line, another line, or angular point. So we want to use the selected lines. In other words, keep the bearing the same as the line we selected.
Yeah, so I just hit,
So just hit enter and that should do that. And now 2.5 acres should be fine. And see, that's excuse me,
let me show
that's
you how I did this before. I would do that in model,
okay.
and I would come here and I would
I
isolate that layer.
yeah, that's fine. Okay.
And then I would area layout, adjust areas, sliding side, line work. Wonder if it's not doing it because the now why is it selecting the endpoint instead of the line?
Because you've got excuse me, the snapping is on. Excuse me.
Turn it off?
Well, I mean, you can try that, but I don't think that's affecting it, but you could do that. Go ahead and turn it off for a moment. Just click that off button and then point to it. There you go. Select the segment. See, it's not picking, it doesn't have the selection box on it. That's what concerns me a little bit. Um,
Let
and
me
here's the thing.
escape.
Yeah, so here's what I'm wondering is if maybe it's not closed. Maybe when we did our edits, yeah, it is closed right there. So, huh. Maybe does it have to all be visible? Let's try that.
I wonder if the hatch has something to do with it. Wonder if the hatches
I
interfere.
would I would sort of doubt it. But you could do this. Let's restore. And I'm going to now isolate by selection. And I'm just going to pick those.
Okay, now let me try it.
Huh.
Huh, weird.
Well, let's see here.
Let me try the hinged area and see if that'll work.
Yep.
Okay, well, that worked.
Yeah, well, let's verify it. Let's take a peek at it here. There's another one here. Let me do it from this.
Area by interior point.
Was polyline. I just want to make sure it's 2.5 acres. 2.500 acres. Okay, so that worked.
Okay, let me do the other one.
Wonder why the sliding didn't work on that. That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe it's too small. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it could just be. All right.
And restore.
Well, you want to actually, didn't we didn't isolate the layer, we isolated the object. So it's this uh this yellow up here
Okay.
to turn them all back on. Yeah. Now, as you can see, we've got this that needs to be brought back to that right there. And same thing here. This one needs to come to there. There we go. And if we see, excuse me, that area 108,900, some zeros, it's basically at 108,899,999. So that's 2.5 acres, both sides. So we're in good shape.
Okay.
All righty.
Let me save this. Okay, so now annotate.
Yeah, so you're going to annotate the actual lots themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well,
It's area layout, isn't it?
no, it's on annotate, but let's isolate the layer so that we get down to just the property line so we can try that so we don't have so much going on right now. So go ahead and do your layer isolate. There you go. And pick the boundary.
The white one or the boundary?
So whichever one that has the closed polylines on it that we want to. So we're going to have a closed polyline to do the auto annotation, or not, well, not necessarily, but yeah, there you go, like that. Now, when we auto annotate, it'll annotate everything that we select. So if we do an auto annotate, go ahead, and now it should ask us to, define that. We're saying to line table scalar, I was looking at that, it's going to be 0.75. So anything that's 3/4 of an inch for a label or for the line length, if it's less than 3/4 of an inch, it will go to a table. But look at your starting table number. So make sure you put that back to 1, if indeed that's what that would be. Okay. And now also look on the arcs tab. And we don't want, or do we want the curve table scalar 1/2 inch, and it's also says starting table number 2. So you put that back to 1 also. All right. And then if those are good, then we will hit OK. And then it says to select the entities. So pick, yeah, just pick. All right, so that's going to be the overall outside. And now pick the center line of the easement and the 3 interior lines. And there you go, and looks good.
Enter.
Yep. Now, it looks like it stopped if you're just looking at the screen, but look at the prompt area on the command line. It says pick the starting point for your line table. So go off to the side and click a place for it to start. And you can move that after it's done, so it's not critical. All right, so now it looked like it did that, and there was no curve table information. but look at the, look up here, how that's kind of sort of a little awkward there,
I
isn't it?
remember that we didn't like that. We dimensioned those in another way. We
That is,
dimensioned those individually.
yeah, that's correct. So I think what we'll want, and we can also see, we're gonna need to do, uh, like, this is the overall, but we
Right.
also want to do these interior distances.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, so, so we'll do some fine tuning here. So let's go back to, let me see this, uh, that's on a layer called boundary easement. Now let me see if I'm going to restore everything, and then I'm going to isolate the boundary easement. I just want to make sure there wasn't anything else that we were going to accidentally erase. So, that might have been erased earlier. So I'm going to isolate that and that. And let's erase by layer this for now. We're just going to clear that and do this over again. Now, let's go back to your auto annotate. And when this comes up this time on the arcs tab, down there where it says to curve table scalar, or right above it, it says use curve table. Pull that down and choose never or none or whatever it says, never. Okay. Now, what we want to do though is we want to stack these. And also, I noticed it said delta D equals. So up there, the third field down, take that D out. There you go. Take that. And yeah, perfect like that, because we say down below to use the symbol for delta. So it will put the symbol in there. And now the D will not be there also. So it'll just say the symbol. Now,
Where does it say the symbol?
right here.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so what we need to do is we're going to stack our labels. So the symbol for delta, we're going to take this D out here as well. So we stack our arcs. We use the symbol, draw the leader. All right, so that is for that, but this is saying to do this, but oh, down here, that's what I was looking for. Stack the labels and say always. Okay, so we're gonna always stack them, so the curves will be stacked off to the sides. And that way, they won't be so awkward there. Now let's double check on lines, make sure that yeah, see that table number? Let's
Yeah.
reset that back to 1. Now, I'll let you drive, go ahead and hit OK and
How
just
about the arc table on the arcs, or we don't have any?
correct. If you look back at arcs now, we said use curve table down here at the bottom. We said
Yeah.
never, but
Okay.
down below it says stack labels. We said always. So
Yeah.
that was like, if we said, don't stack, then the curve table would either would apply. But if we said to stack always, then
Yeah.
that goes away. The curve table is not even relevant anymore. So,
Okay.
all right. So
So,
let's say,
okay.
go ahead and say okay.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Now choose your overall. And then choose your center line, and then those right there. Okay. And now read your prompt. So it wants to know the place to start your curve, or line table rather. So there's that. And now there's your arcs. You see they've been done with the little leader.
Right.
Okay. Now, what we need to do next is come in here and find uh like see right in here. Is this supposed to be a separate?
Well, I was gonna set 3 corners there, but I've been toying with just setting the one in the middle. I'm not sure if it'll get taken out though.
Yeah, because these are the easement points.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So those actually are not part of this.
right.
But if you do show this,
I'd have to come back and put a dimension on there.
yeah, or you'd have to put a crow's foot or something to this distance up here so they know not to count that one, whichever way you wanted to represent that.
Right.
Um, I would also think maybe we'd scoot this around a little bit. Get that
Could I
off.
put L equals and R equals and delta equals?
Yeah, we can. Probably would be a little nicer, I think. And also, you see, there's no indicator where those PCs and PTs are.
Yeah, no, I need to put points in there.
Yeah,
Should I
so
go ahead and do that now?
yeah, you can. Now you can also you don't necessarily have to put Carlson points. You could just put symbols there if you want.
How would I do that?
If you go to the draw menu of yeah, go to the draw menu and choose symbol.
Symbol?
Yeah, and insert symbols. And
Okay, the symbol I will want to
that,
pick
yeah,
is the one that's unmarked, which is that one.
okay. And now this is I'm sort of mad at Carlson because they've never fixed this yet. This one says symbol scale
Yeah,
of. So this is one where they do use ground distance and they shouldn't. This should be just like the other ones, but they haven't fixed that part and they haven't done it ever. So so let's figure out we are at 150. So this would be at 80%. So this would be like a 0.08 inch symbol. And if that's what we want, that's fine. If you want a tenth of an inch, no, 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 no. No, I'm saying they've got it 12. It needs 12. It needs to be 12. They ought to change it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. 12 or 15 if you want a tenth of an inch, either way. What I'm saying is this is the one difference between this and a Carlson point. A Carlson point, and I've told you over and over and over since day one, always think in terms of plotted inches,
right.
except for this one command, and it's using actual ground distance, and they haven't changed the command to ask you for that plotted inches. It's still asking for ground distance. So in this case, you'd have to know at 150 scale, you want 12 feet if you want it to be 80%, or if you want it to be a tenth of an inch, you'd have to make it 15 feet. So whatever size you want it to be, you choose.
Well, I'd like for it to be the same size as this one.
As
As
those on
the,
the corners that you're using,
yeah.
I think those are tenths. Let me say I'm going to cancel that a second and take a look at it and see. This one is let's go to the yeah, it's 0.08. Okay, so it would be a 12. Okay, so we'll do that. Go back to the draw symbol, insert symbols, and now make sure, oh, cancel that, or go ahead, that's fine. Go ahead and choose it. Now look at your layer name. Make sure you're on the layer name you want it to be on.
What do you think? Boundary easement or boundary plat? It's not really the easement, it's the center.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's however you want to be able to manage it, because if you do need to be able to isolate it, you can do so if it's on a different one, but that's fine. So symbol scale, 12, that's good. We'll say okay. Oh, yeah, go ahead. And now see where it says select entities or enter corners or pick a point or point numbers, but one of the options is to select entities. So if you were to say S
Yes.
and you could just pick the center line and it would put a point all the way along it. Now, it would also be the ones that are already there, but that's fine. Say, go ahead and say, okay. And pick that. Hit enter. Okay, now okay, now hit enter to finish. Now, one thing it did, I noticed that because one of the options was to suppress the radius points in the mid
Right.
of the arcs. But so there's a radius point that we no longer really need. So we'll just erase that one. And there should be one in there. So erase that. Now notice also over here in the properties, it's
Yeah.
just a block. It's not it's not a point.
Right.
Okay, so we'll select those two and delete them. And there you go. You've got your symbol. And you've got the lines and the line style going through points. I see something just a second. Yeah, it's still wanting. Yeah, it's just one. I don't understand why. 'Cause it makes it awfully see that the pattern of that line is such, it's so large. It's almost like to make it a little more appropriate cartographically, and see it's even got a line type scale of 0.65. It's almost like it needs to be something like this. Didn't change it apparently. That's the 0.25. Yeah, so you see how that sets the pattern down. So now you can see it going through the points.
Yeah.
But and that would apply to all of these. And so now just remember when you're doing that, and when you get over here, that needs to be that same scale. So 0.25,
Good
0.25.
catch. Oh, can you show me how to do something while we're here? Can you
Yeah.
show me how to put in that legend, incorporate the hatched open space?
Um, yeah, I'm not yeah, I know what you're asking. I'm thinking my way through it here. Let's see. We come back here. I'm going to save this. If we run that, we say draw legend, and here's our legend file. Now that can come from anything, anywhere. Now I want to add symbol line type. Okay, it will take hatches. That's what I was looking for. So we're going to choose that, and we're going to select a hatch
Under
pattern.
symbol name, should we put open space?
No, that's if we're looking for a name symbol, we have to
Oh,
know
okay,
the block, and that's if we type the name. So we're going to come down here and just select the hatch pattern.
okay.
If I choose that, and then no, I didn't want to select it from there. I wanted to select it from the drawing. I want to select the drawing hatch. Uh, I don't think it's going to yeah. Cancel that. Let me, instead of add, I want to, there should be, here it is, add from drawing. That's what I needed to do. So if I add from drawing and choose this, it now should be right there. It says open
Yeah.
space.
Yep.
And it says include. And now I need to draw it. Where is it? Is it drawn over here at all, anywhere at all? In
No,
model space? Okay, so I'm gonna draw and let's just bring it down to here. So that's basically, you can see that it makes these huge areas, which are way too big for
one,
you.
I don't have any of those actually.
Okay, so that was, I guess, left over from the last time
Yeah.
where we said,
Don't have manholes. Don't don't have mergers.
all right, so
Don't-
really the only thing that we really needed to add was this open space, right?
Yes.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I just use this to get it in the drawing. So we're going to take actually all of this stuff and get rid of it. And even this stuff here I don't need anymore either. But I also don't want this to be quite so large. So I'm going to take this polyline and I'm going to bring this down to its midpoint here. And I'm going to do that one more time from this bottom corner up to that new midpoint there. So that's going to be what the overall shape will be. Now I need to also do that for this, and I can do that either that same way, or I can just snug up the corners, matching corner to corner. Because again, this is just drawn stuff. And that was the hatch. And then I can do the same thing for this here. I'm not sure exactly why they come up with three of them. I don't think we need all three, but there's that. Now this one, then I'm going to move. I'm just going to move this down to where it is opposite this midpoint. Actually, let me set this up where the midpoint is also on. Now, if I grab it by that midpoint snap and head down with it, I'm going to hover over it. There we go. And I'm heading down. I'm going to go over here and just hover and get the midpoint and then go across. Now watch what happens. It locks in. You see double crosshairs now?
Yeah.
And so now I click it. And so it's exactly in the middle. And it's no closer or further away than it was before. Now, so we've got this stuff here. And it is in model space.
We need to change space.
We do, but if I look at it over here, I need to be able to see it. So I need to make sure I put it temporarily close. I'm just going to move it up here beside this so I can grab it.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to my model space. I'm going to grab these two things and I'll just do a move and I'll just put it right up there and that should be sufficient.
Looks like we need to move the line table somewhere too.
Yes, we will. So let's move that up here just right with it so we can do that way. Um, let's see. All right, so actually the line table, and we'll leave that in model space, I think might be let's see here. If we move that to say, I don't know, will it go there, down here? Do you have anything else you need to, but where do you think it makes the most sense to show it?
I would say the lower right, maybe.
Like in here, but I don't want to get into that arrow, so I'll
Yeah,
put off of that. So
yeah,
like right
like
there,
there.
there we go. All right, now this other one, we're going to do a change space and we're going to come over here and just put it down underneath this access easement. We may have to stretch something up and all that kind of stuff. So, but while we're here in this viewport and it's boldface, you're ready to go. So you're going to type CH space. Oops, it's trying to do a window selection. Press escape. Now do your CH space. There you go. CH space. Did you type the word space?
No, I didn't.
All right, CH. There you go. Now you can hit enter. And you want to make sure it says move. So select the entity to move. So you can draw a window around. There you go. And get the word too. Okay. And hit enter to finish. Okay. Now it says everything was scaled by a factor to maintain visual appearance. Now you notice the word looked like it disappeared, but it's really uber teeny tiny up there. Okay.
Oh,
But
I see it.
so what we want to do is let's match this text over here. I'm going to take a look at that text and I see in paper space it is 0.1 tall. Okay. So when we did this up here before, it was, let me escape. So I've only got the one. So now we say it's annotative. We say the annotation scale is 1:1. So we need to change this height now to be 0.1. I think this will be what we want. So go ahead and say that. Okay. And looks like we're going to have to reposition it again because we changed it here. So I'm going to go here and slide down. I'm going to hover and come across and let it snap, click. All right. So now I want to make sure, did we blow it up over here? Oh, no, we didn't because it pulled it into paper space. We no longer have it there. So now let's put the hatch. I'm going to put it in the back. Okay. So now we need to make a space for it over here underneath access easement. So we're going to take all of these things and move them up one line to one line. Okay. So I'm just going to right click, move. I'm going to go from the endpoint of this line here to the endpoint of this line here. And we'll fix this up here in a minute.
Okay.
But what we did for that was we've now moved everything up one space so that we can now bring this stuff down here and get it positioned a little nicer. And so now what we'll do is we're going to select everything here together as sort of a group. And we're going to say move. And we're going to hover on this, let's say this corner here. And we'll go up to that corner there. So now it's right over top of the other one. That's not exactly what I want to do. Let me see, Mike, I'm sorry. If we're going to move, let's go from I'm going to go shift insert. I'm going to go from the insert of that text to the shift insert of that text. And now, and I'm not going to worry about trying to pick those things out again because it's was the previously selected item. So I'm going to type move again, hit enter, and it says select the entities. I'm going to type P for previous, hit enter to finish. And now I'm going to go from say that endpoint there to that endpoint, and it's still not quite enough. Move again, P for previous. It enters, so I'm going to open it up just a little bit more and come down. So now my words are lined up. This is not quite lined up with the edge of that other one. So I'm going to select all of that. And I'm going to move that stuff from here along that line, hover over that endpoint and come down. See, hover and come down and let it, when it snaps into that double. I want to get that double. Oh, come on. All right, let's go this way and try it one more time. I want to hover, get the dash line. I'll come up here and hover. What happened to our snaps? Let's see. Endpoint is on. Move from here. Yeah, there's my dash line. I want to come up there and hover over that endpoint. And it's not. Huh, I see. All right, so this is what's going on with this. If I move. Not selecting. You didn't select those lines. Why?
I've found that if you save it and exit and then come back, and I don't know why, but you don't even have to exit Carlson entirely. You just exit there you go.
Yeah.
I've had that experience before.
All right, so now they're lined up. And now, we could be our anal little engineering self and make sure that this is as wide as this is if we wanted to do all that. This is, I think it's going to serve the function.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. You could even stretch it over, to be, in fact, there's a good command that's not bad to know, is the stretch command. And you have to do that with a crossing. And except I got to get the right command. That was trim, not stretch. Where is stretch? Well, for heaven's sake. It's like they don't have it on this toolbar. That's interesting. Let's see if stretch is up here anywhere. That's really strange. All right, stretch. Go from there. There. And then we'll just bring those guys over. Make sure he's in the back. All right, so there you go. And we need to fix this. Pull that guy up. It's not exactly on that corner, is it? Go to the nearest up here. That nearest of here. And this needs to go, and I'm gonna have to put a little helper line in here for a second. I'm gonna go up here and go in that direction. And let's see if this will. Yep, there's that. And actually, all I need to do is go to the perpendicular snap. That, select that, get rid of it. There we go, I think. Now, do we want that to be heavy like this other one, or?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
All right, so we will match. There we go. Oh, we also want to do. Slightly off. That. Actually, we want to match this line to that. There we go. Now, this. Slightly off the vertical. So if I put it out to there and then pull it back to where it is perpendicularly snapped to there, and then I can erase that. And everything is nice and neat and square and tidy and same weight and all that good stuff. All right, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Let's see. These are your, we wanted to go back and put those equals in there. Now,
Yes. Let me ask you a question.
sure,
How about the arrow?
yes, I was
On,
getting ready to tell you all of that kind of stuff here as well. But
okay.
also notice see that little line that's underneath there?
Yeah.
So if that needs to be frozen in this viewport, make sure you do that as well. Same thing for this. Uh, it looks like
It's that center, it's that property line.
this. Yeah, it is this. Uh,
Let, let's look at the model here for a second.
yeah. Right there. Yeah, man.
It's the C body.
I see that. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's also that it's that open space.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that you can do. We can, we used it to calculate the areas, to do the adjustment. We yell it, and that can be actually the layer that's on can be frozen.
Okay.
And then you could draw a polyline on, uh, let's see, this is supposed to be open space. We want to use that we want to keep that as our open space line work. We want that to show, but so we basically need to suppress this along where it superimposes on the other lines.
Yeah,
We only want to show it where it's out here by itself, okay?
right.
So we used it to calculate. Now, what is that one? You said this one was called CBDY. That's the one that gets frozen, right?
Yeah,
All right, so we're going to take these and we're going to put them on that layer so that they can get frozen in their entirety here in just a minute. So I'm going to put that on CBDY. Okay, and they're white. But now we're going to draw just the parts that we need over top with that open space layer. Okay, so we're going to draw a 2D polyline. And we're going to uncheck this current drawing properties and we're going to select this and put this on open space. Right there as my layer. Color and line type are all by layer. That's all good. Everything's good to go here. And we'll say, okay, now I could snap and go, snap, 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 but there's an even quicker way is you can type F down here to follow. So I'm going to follow this polyline, okay? And it needs to pick the first follow point. So that's going to be there. Right there is going to be where I first start to follow. And I'm going to end my follow either here or down to here. I think I'm going to bring it all the way down to here because it's going to superimpose on the edge of that easement. Is is the easement line a dashed line?
I don't remember.
I think it's that purple looking line there that looks dashed. All right, so let's see. Let's go down to my interpolate the following vertices for elevations. No. And now the last follow point, I'm going to say here. Now, it's asking me, is this correct? Because it's a closed polyline. And if I say no, it says, is this correct? It's it should be dashed. And I don't see it dashing. So let me try it. Say yes. Okay, so it did that one. It should dash up that route because it's closed. It could have either gone around this way or come around this way. Okay. So that now has that. And so this, let me, what I wanted to, yeah, see that, this dash line for the easement.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to, I didn't want to make that solid around here. I wanted to keep it separate. I also see, yeah, let's make sure it goes through that and there we go. All right, so now we've done that, and if we freeze in this viewport, we're going to freeze that probably center line, and also looks like we've already frozen that. Yeah, we froze the other. What was that called? C boundary or something like that. So it's already frozen in here. That's what we want. but it's still there, of course, it's over here. And now we'll just do that again. We'll draw a 2D poly. Say okay, again, follow, and we're going to follow this polyline. We're starting from there, extend or interpolate, no, and we're going to go to there. Is this correct? And boy, I just don't know. I'll say yes. No, that was wrong. So let's undo that. Follow. First follow point is there. Last follow point is there. Is this correct? No. See, that's supposed to be dashed and to tell us which way it's going, and I'm just having to guess it. I'm I'm going to assume right now that it's not showing because of Zoom. But it could be because of, something on the video. Now, here's something too I want to point out to you and ask you about. This 2.5 acres goes up to this line here, but look at it over here. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. That's all right. I was afraid maybe I'd lost audio. Yeah, you see how this 2.5 acres goes out to this point here,
Yes,
but over here it's not.
right, and it shouldn't.
It should not. Okay. As
Yeah,
long as you are aware of those and those are by intent. Okay. All right. So those are those. We need to do the same thing for these. And these are going to be pretty simple. Just 2D poly. And this time these are just like that, simple enough. No need to do the follow on that one because there's no intricacies on those. Those are just two segments and one segment, and that should be sufficient for those. And then when you see it on the plat, you see those interior lines, but where they go under the property line, the boundary line, you don't see that ghosted underneath there, taking up that extra room.
right.
Now, the other thing we need to do is we need to go back and fix these
Yeah, I can do that.
kind of things. So move that out and then do a individual distance from point to point,
Yep,
for those same kind of things there. And let's see, there was one. Oh, and also when you're doing that command, and I'll just show you where to do it here. When you do this auto annotate, right in here for these, you want to put L equals R equals, and then just the equals, because it's going to say you're going to
right,
use the symbol. And we'll do the same thing on the stacked, which is really what's being displayed, are these stacked. Okay. And so then you would do that, but I'm gonna fix it. Oh, and the arrowhead for this one too is if we let's go back to that auto annotate. Stacked arc label, the arrow scalar, meaning if the leader, where we say draw leader, that's this right
yeah,
here. And if you don't want the arrowhead on there at all, if you don't want the arrow and the leader, just uncheck that. But if it is on there, it's saying that, well, if my leader is 0.08 inches or less, don't put the arrowhead on there. But
right.
if bigger than that, go ahead and draw the arrowhead and make the arrow that size. Okay. So let's see here, the stack label offset, this distance right here, that's again in plotted inches, how far you want that off of the the arc that you're labeling.
Right.
Okay, so you might want to give it a little bit bigger. And I think is if you, like, we don't have to repeat, you don't have to raise all of those and redo all of them over again. You could just do the individual arcs. So let's make this say a 0.25. We will still draw the leader if you'd like. And then now you can just pick, of course. Let's go back in now that I'm here. So now when this comes up and our stacked arc 0.25, we'll say, okay, so instead of doing it all over again, we just pick the arcs. So I'll pick that arc and say that arc. Oh no, that's not going to be the arc. That's going to be, that would try to do the overall.
What would happen if you just went to annotate?
Yeah, you could. I know what you're getting ready to ask. If you annotate an arc, let's see, label,
Annotate arc. Let's back up that
yeah,
one.
right there, and just a stack label arc pick side. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly how you would do that. Okay,
Okay.
and it should take the same settings. So if I do that and then choose that, and then that lets you put there, but it doesn't have an arrowhead on it. Why did it not? Now that, oh, okay. So this put actually more information there, you see.
And that's okay. The county likes that.
Okay, then I would go ahead and finish that out uh with those same with that command for the arcs. And then but I'd leave those linear things on there because they're already in your table.
Yeah.
L1, L2, L3. Okay.
Right.
So
How about my arrow on my arrowhead on my leader there? What's with that?
well, yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say is that's on I think if it's a strip degrees L equals no. Not sure where that.
What happens if you just click on the leader and look over in the right hand?
Yeah, is it a leader? It is a leader. Okay, so we could do that. Let's see. So
There, the arrow size is 0. That's
there's
the
line
problem.
without arrow.
Yeah.
You wanted it to be a line with the arrow.
Right.
And then,
And it says arrow size 0.
yeah, so we want that to be 0.08, I think. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I like the way you think your way through stuff, Michael. That's gotten it done. It's
I'm
exact-
learning.
Yep. Well, that's all I do with this stuff. You know, I don't know I don't know all this stuff just inherently, and it stays in my head all the time. Half the time I'm having to do this. Um, and I have to do it in this fashion. I have to go through and, make sure that I'm, trying to guess my way through stuff. One of the things I would also point out for you is that you can see how heavy these symbols are.
Yes.
You might want to select those, and that's a block reference. And if you select them all, select similar rather, and you could take the line weight, and instead of being by layer, if you set it to be default, it's mm, it's not changing. Uh, Well, it's because it's a block. You'd have to, we would have to go into the block editor and change that or
Because
put
it's
it
not a
on,
point, right?
right, it's not a point, but we could put it on a layer. Let's say that what layer is this on driveway? So I'm just going to temporarily change this layer. Um, and you should see that because it is set to be, yeah, see how it lightened it up,
Yeah.
lightened it up because driveway is defined as a lower line weight than,
Now, can you just change those all by picking similar?
well, we don't want to put them on layer driveway though. We want to
Right,
make,
right, okay.
let's put it on a, let's make a layer called, let's make a layer here. Let me get to the layer control. Let's make a layer called, what is that? Boundary, PNTS, symbols, maybe. And then we'll just keep the default as, I think default would be sufficient. I forget what we say default is in the generals. I think it's 0.15. Let's set that to be 0.15. So now if we take that, um, no, it won't get these unless you want them to be because that's a point. Okay, so you could put that point on that same layer. Okay, see that's on boundary, so it's going to be heavy. But if you did put that on, gosh, what did we call it? I keep forgetting.
Boundary point symbols.
Yeah. So see how that clears that up like that?
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Okay, so you would select all of the, first of all, do it with these, select these similar, and those should be, well, actually, it does get all those. Oh, I see. That, yeah, because the one wasn't, the one, so if I select similar again, oh, it also gets the solid ones. That's
That's
okay.
okay.
All right, so if we put those all on
Boundary,
boundary point symbols. And then you could do those if you wanted, or those could stay heavy. They're not terribly bad. Let's see. Select layer, let's see, let's select. We do want to bring up. Any of those that have the wipeouts in them, make sure you put them over top. But I think that's the only one, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay. And then I would go uh, down here, make sure these are all, yeah, they're nice and clear. All right. So that'll keep it from looking quite so muddy. Eh,
Oh, I just noticed something.
okay.
I need to get my septic reserve areas into the legend too.
Okay. And that's these.
Yeah,
Are they supposed to be? It's on septic. What is layer septic defined? Does it have a line style maybe we're not seeing? No, it says continuous. Do you want them to be like a dashed or something?
yeah, it could be a dash.
All right, let's choose dashed two. All right, so we'll take all of these, select similar. Make sure line type generation is, actually, we want to turn those off so that with the corners stay defined. But then we'll give it a smaller line type scale like that. Well, now this is a house.
That's a house.
Okay, so we'll leave that one alone. These are your septic reserves. And I would take one of those. All right, so I'm just going to do a change space so that we get the exact same thing. I'm going to say change space. And I'm going to this time copy instead of move. So I'm going to copy this one.
You can change space and copy at the same time.
Yeah, the two choices are move or copy. So if you move, it takes it from one space and puts it in the other space and gets rid of it in the original. If
I
you
got you.
copy, so now I'm in paper space and I'm just going to move that now from here to here. And you see the original stays behind.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to want to do though, instead of, because this isn't really a hatch, it's just a line just like the boundary is.
Yes.
So I'm going to take these lines and I'll move those. Move. Find more editing and oh, here it is. Sorry, move. And I just want to sneak one in. So I'm going to go from here up to here. So that's, uh-oh, I didn't get everything. Now let's try that again. Making sure I've got all my text. There we go. So now let's move from here up to here. And we are going to take these two things and copy from here down to here. And we'll call this one septic reserve area. Is that right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. And then we will do a match of this to this, and then just delete that. And now we need to take this guy up. There we go. All right. So now what you might want to do also though is let's go back to that draw legend. Since you do a number of these, do we have a septic reserve in?
Doesn't
You
look
don't.
like it.
So I'm going to add from the drawing and I'll just pick that right there. And that's going to be septic. And we're going to call it septic. Now notice what it's doing is it's picking up the description from the layer name.
Yeah.
So that's going to be there. We'll say, okay. And then I'm just going to save this. And the next time you need to do it, you can run the command and that will be in that overall global file.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. Anything else you can think of? And again, don't forget to
Yeah, no, I can fix all
these
that.
other annotations. Yeah, like this, the half distances and all those kind of things. All right.
Right. Right.
Okie doke.
Okay,
Well,
thank you, sir.
you are most welcome. I will send you a video link once done and we'll
Now,
go.
let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. If I
Okay.
wanted to save this as a new prototype for
Yes.
when I start a drawing,
Uh-huh.
do I do that as a save as?
You can, yes. And in fact, well, let's just do it right now. I'll talk you through it. So just go to, first of
Okay,
all, save the
let me
drawing.
hit save first,
Right.
then file,
Save
save
it.
as.
Mhm. And when it comes up, you're gonna, where it says save as type, you want to pull that down and choose AutoCAD template. You see the 2018 drawing, ASCII binary, blah, blah, blah. And it come on down and it says AutoCAD drawing template right there. Okay. Now, right now it's changed the name for that DWT. It kept the same name and you can give it a new name, but it gave you the extension that you need.
Right.
Okay. So, you know, you might want to highlight the name part and then just, yeah, there you go. And put, you know, starting drawing or startup drawing or something, you know, minor set. There you go. Something like that. Now, before you hit enter though, all right, now look up the top and you see the folder that you're in is all of that. Okay. So
Right.
you can either put that in your particular location, which is not a bad thing. In fact, if you go up to your main right there, yeah, click there, and there should be a CAD resources. Yeah. Okay, and go ahead and save it there. Just hit save. And now we're going to also put it where your automatic templates are being looked for. Okay.
Okay.
And that is going to be, and I don't know exactly where that is. We can find that out if you go to the,
Do save as again.
well, yeah, but we don't know where it is yet. But
Okay.
right in there, right click the mouse and at the, oh no, this is not AutoCAD. Never mind. Go to the settings menu rather. And I think it's maybe all the way at the bottom. No, let's see. We want
IntelliCAD setting.
IntelliCAD settings, IntelliCAD drawing settings. I think that's what we want. Okay. And now, no, of course not. Say cancel there. Go back to, let me see the mouse. I want to do, it's options is what these are. And it should be, there it is, IntelliCAD options and paths and files. That's what I was looking for. So the paths, and these are and see down here, it says template paths.
Yeah.
So these are folders where we're telling it to look in to find templates. And right now, by default, it goes under users, SHEPP, app data, roaming, Carlson software, Carlson 2023, iCAD 10.1x64 sup. That's a support folder. So, you know, we could do that, or we could even just add your folder into this list. But really, I just wanted to, I know where that is now, so I can find, so now I know where to put this copy. So I'm going to say file, save as, just like you did before, and I'm going to switch it back to this template again. And we'll keep that minor subdivision. And this time I need to go all the way, I got to navigate now to drive C, users, SHEPP, app data, local, Carlson software, 20, let's see this 64 right here. Wrong one. Let's see. It's local. Maybe I missed one. There's no roaming. Ah, hang on. All right, paths, template, and that is usership, roaming, Carlson software, and then Carlson 2023. All right, users, SHEPP, app data, roaming, not local. Okay, so file, save as. First of all, drawing template, then users, SHEPP. app data, roaming, not local. There we go. Carlson software 2023. SUP. So right there, now you're going to see when I scroll down here, you're going to see a bunch of these other DWTs.
Yep.
Okay, so there's your minor subdivision. And you'll notice it's not in there, but we're going to save it. Now, and I'm going to close this off so you don't get confused thinking you're running your other file. But here's your file that you were running, this white. Oh, sorry, I guess that wasn't it either. You could do, it wasn't white.
It was elevation. Which is, there it is.
Minor subdivision right there. Yeah, 2023. All right, so there's now the file you're working on. So when you do, you can keep working on that. But now, when you go to make a new drawing, let me, I'm gonna bring that back in here a little bit, give you a little more drawing space here, just yucks. So if you go to do a new drawing file, well, let's see, if you're going to start, if you're back here at the start page, you do a new drawing.
Yeah.
And this little wizard runs, use a drawing template. We say next. Now it's because we are looking in that location, right? There's the one we
Right.
just put there. And those are all those other ones that you saw. So that
Yeah.
would now let you start off with that. Okay.
Okay.
So cancel that. We're not going to make a new one. We'll go back to here. Whoops. Second. All right, but don't leave Bell. And now you're back to here. All right, so there you go. All righty.
Very good.
Now that's got it. And I think we're good to go. I tell you what, I wish Zoom would make up their mind. Because I got this new stuff, they downloaded a new version. And so they no longer float the controls. It's now down at the bottom of the screen. And I'm looking all over the screen for it. And I can't find it. Now I finally find it. So, all right. All right. So there it is. I will shut us down and send you a link.
Okay, very good.
All right, sir. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.